Hi, I'm Dr. Simon Fry, the consultant in clinical neurophysiology. I'm going to talk very briefly about a very common condition where patients are affected by pain at the base of the thumb by moving their thumbs up and down. There are a number of causes for this type of problem, and one of the most common causes is de Quervain's Tenosynovitis. Tenosynovitis means inflammation of the sheaths around the tendons, and in this condition it affects the extensor tendons over here which pull the thumb up. The most common reason for this in younger people, people who are of the generation which use lots of technology, are mobile phones. And this is the real reason I wanted to share this with you, because this is something that I've had myself. So if you've got a phone and you're constantly scrolling across it, then your thumb is being subjected to lots of repetitive strain. And what happens is with time, the tendons rub against each other, they rub against the bones, and they become inflamed. A really good way of sorting this out is, of course, not to be on your phone constantly and to think of other ways of using your phone, which I'll come back to in a moment. But a really good way of accelerating the healing process is to use a wrist splint. Now, if you haven't seen a wrist splint, this is what they look like, and I've got a separate video explaining how to fit a wrist splint. The most important thing you can do with the wrist splint is, of course, just use them at night and allow the inflammation to settle down. If you use them during the daytime, then one can actually exacerbate the problem, because you're actually using your tendons against the resistance of the wrist splint itself, and that can further exacerbate symptoms. Of course, if there's any further problems that are not alleviated by resting the thumb joint and by using splinting, there are other things that can be used for treatment as well. Just a couple of things about modifications with mobile phones. When you're choosing a mobile phone, it's quite useful not to get one that's too big, because then, of course, one is using your thumb at even greater extended motions to try and scroll across tabs. You can also try and modify the way that you use your fingers on the screen. So, for example, over here, you can actually just use a larger motion of your elbow rather than a movement of your thumb here to swipe up and down the screens. Another thing you can also try and do is avoid being an instant messenger, and try and group together the times that you're using your mobile phone to respond to people's emails, tweets and Instagram updates. So I hope you found this useful. If you have, please do support the channel by liking, sharing and subscribing. Many thanks for your support.